In this video, I'm going to be breaking down how you can be booking at least 10 interviews per week on autopilot using advanced AI strategies. This is not going to be some theoretical concept. We're going to break down and look at everything we did for our client Griffin, who went from struggling really hard in the job market for 6+ months to booking over 40 interviews per month on autopilot, having tons of great opportunities, and ultimately landing a remote role in less than 90 days. Let's break it down. Hi, I'm Delaney William. If we've never met, I run Elevated Tech, which is the world's largest remote job placement agency that leverages AI and automation to help people stack remote roles. In the last year, we've worked with over 120 professionals from Meta, Netflix, Airbnb, Google, and more, grow their remote income, and I want to help you too, so let's dive in. Before we jump into strategy, let's meet Griffin.
I'm in sales. I submitted all of my documents and we put it out there. And I think within 2 days, people were coming back. Hey, we like your experience. Here's the calendar link, book a call with us. We'd love to schedule an intro interview. And then it just started trickling down from there and, snowball of interviews.
So as you can see, these results are real, they're tangible, and you can experience them as well. He is not some unicorn person. His resume was not even that great when he first started off, and now he's earning 10+ interviews a week. So let's break down exactly how this is possible and how you can get the same results. So the first thing you need to do that we did with Griffin is identify the right job title to go after. When we onboarded Griffin, we understood that he wanted to land a remote sales role, but that is not specific enough. We need to do some meta-analysis on all the different job titles out there, pick the most optimal job title, and optimize the resume and the LinkedIn around that job title. So once we did our research, we identified account executive to be the optimal job title for him. Now for you, based on your goals and what you want out of your life and your work-life balance and your total income and how many roles you want to have, those factors are all going to influence what the right job title should be for you. But given what Griffin was looking for, it was clear that account executive was the right job title to go after, predominantly because there were so many remote jobs out there for that title. If he were to pick sales representative or sales manager, slightly varied job title without understanding the consequences, it could have completely derailed his experience. But we picked the right job title because we knew there were going to be at least 2,000 jobs monthly remote in the United States that we could apply for. And if we can play the numbers game with our really powerful AI system, we get 2,000 shots at interviews. And even if you only got a 1% response rate, that would be 20 interviews per month. He's averaging a 2% response rate, which is 40 interviews a month because we're doing that insane volume. 2% is not even that great. There is more room for improvement there, but still 40 interviews a month is a lot. And for sure will lead anyone to an offer with enough repetitions. Once you've got the right job title selected, you need to optimize your resume around that job title. We're going to break down Griffin's exact resume that's getting him 10+ interviews per week. But real quick, if you know you need support in your job search, I highly recommend you grab the free course listed down below. It's a free resume optimization course and you'll get a ton of value out of it. Now, let's continue. All right, so this is the resume that we've created for him. It looked very different before this, but I'm going to point out some of the most important aspects of having a really great resume. We find that a one-page resume across the board, unless you're a senior executive, is the way to go. People fight it, but we have consistent results with this. I'm not saying it can't work as a 2-pager, but again, we find this works really well. So what are the main things we're doing? We like to see a really large work experience section. So he has 3 roles on here that date back to 2018. What you'll notice is quantification is really strong. We strive for at least 2 dollar value metrics in every job posting. And we really focus on the quantification impact. So not just using numbers for the sake of numbers, but we want to communicate that if he's able to generate $1 million for a business and they feel confident he's going to have a great ROI, they're going to be way more willing to pay him $100,000, $200,000, etc. So there's a lot of dollar value quantification in a lot of these jobs, which you'll notice. This small education section, as long as you went to college, that's really all people care about. It's never really going to be your differentiator. People care way more about what you actually have done. So we like to keep this to maybe 3 lines max. And then the skill section is really important. We're reverse engineering the job title that we chose, and we understand what are all the keywords that need to be in a resume to hit the algorithm the right way. So the skill section is very, very intentionally done, and it's hyper specific for the job title we're going after. And you'll also notice the exact job title we're going after is listed on his resume. Another thing you'll notice is that we do not repeat the action words in the resumes more than once. So you'll notice that there are new action verbs used, and you only see words like drove used maximum of 2 times, which more than that will affect you in the algorithm. There's way more that we've done here intentionally. There's probably 20 or so things we're tweaking in every resume, but hopefully that gives you an insight and a place to start in terms of what you can and should be doing in your resume if you want to get 10+ interviews per week. Okay, now that you know how to create a winning resume, the next step in the process is optimizing your LinkedIn to reflect the changes in your resume, but also consider all the other important variables needed for an optimal LinkedIn profile that will put you in the top search results when recruiters are looking at candidates, meaning you'll likely see a 5x increase in response rate because you're showing up on page 1 or 2 rather than page 30 of all viable candidates. Let's take a look. All right, so to protect his privacy, we're not going to be looking at the actual LinkedIn profile, but I screenshotted the most important parts. What can you learn from this? One, background photo, something professional. I don't even know what this is, but it's professional. It doesn't look ugly. That's all you need to do. You can create something on Canva if needed. He has an AI headshot that makes him look really professional. It just looks like a normal picture of him, but he used AI to create it. So definitely having a professional profile picture. And he does have account executive blurred out here as the first keywords in his headline. Aligning to your targeted job title is really important. And he also has other keywords here that make him feel human. And the average person resonating with this will probably be into fitness, spirituality, mental health, and creating good relationships. So because they see that, they're creating a personal connection and they're more likely to want to talk to him, which is great. The about section. So the cool thing to note about LinkedIn is it doesn't need to be one page like a resume does. You can pack it with so many buzzwords and keywords. He's telling a personalized story here. He's baking in his quantification. So it's not just storytelling, it's also impact. And it has a lot of the important keywords that LinkedIn is able to think, oh, this guy must be a really good account executive because he has all the words related to account executive in his LinkedIn profile. This is just one of his job descriptions on his LinkedIn profile, but what you'll notice is that it is long and we're using all this space. So we expanded on what's in his resume with a longer, more story-based formatting that allows us to bake in even more keywords, even more buzzwords so that the algorithm sees him as a high quality account executive. So he did do this for every job on his LinkedIn profile. But again, we just need to show you one to help you understand that it's best for you to use up so much space and be long-winded in LinkedIn because no one's really going to read it anyways. It's more about the algorithm. And last is the skills section. He has at least 50 plus skills that are all relevant to account executive work that again, inform LinkedIn that he's a high quality candidate. So really simple, really straightforward, just things that you don't want to mess up so that you do get placed on page 1, 2, and 3 on the LinkedIn algorithm when you're applying to jobs. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful for you to understand what's needed to see a higher response rate from recruiters when it comes to LinkedIn. And once we have all that together, then you can start the fun and exciting part, which is automating the job search. Everything up until this point has been done so that we increase our conversion rate for every job we apply to. We're going to get a higher likelihood of response rate from recruiters, but that alone doesn't mean anything if we can't get the volume out of applications we need per month, because when 500 people apply to every job, your response rate, even with the perfect application and perfect profile, is going to be very low still. So we really need to maximize for volume of applications, and that's the really exciting part. So what we did next is assign Griffin a real human being to run his job search for him. Anyone can theoretically go do this. We hire assistants from the Philippines. It's really easy to mess this up. 99% of people will make mistakes and hire people who are not capable and competent. When it comes to applying to jobs, they obviously need to be really good at English. They need to be really good at critical thinking, and not all Philippines VAs are. But if you have the right hiring and vetting process, you can get a really good rate on a human being that will support in the job search, just like we did for Griffin, who's able to get out 2,000 applications per month, which is really crazy. So when we're doing this, we're having this assistant apply to 50 long form applications. So that's literally going out to company websites, filling it out as him. There's way less people who do that, but it's harder to get the volume. We also do 150 easy applies, which is going on LinkedIn, clicking the easy apply over and over again. It's more competitive, but we can get more volume. And we also run a proprietary AI tool that applies to another 300 jobs using an automated job application process on LinkedIn, Indeed, and ZipRecruiter, totaling to 500 a week and ultimately 2,000 per month. The way we do this is we set up a custom WhatsApp chat for the client, their applier, our head of operations, myself, our career coaching team. Everyone has eyes and visibility on the process. So while we're running the job search and the assistant is applying, there's a constant feedback loop. We're very data driven. So we're expecting X number of interviews coming in per month. And we're constantly going to be looking, okay, what was the total number of interviews? What can we be testing, just like any good marketing campaign, to see if we can get the interview response rate higher and higher. So it's a very collaborative effort, but it takes the heavy lifting off the client's plate. All they need to do is check their email inbox and check the messages from their applier saying, hey, you have X number of interviews. In Griffin's case, it's at least 10 interviews a week that he's booking for himself, which has completely changed the game. So in summary, what are the 4 things you need to do if you want to get at least 10 interviews per week? 1 is pick the right job title. 2 is optimize your resume. 3, optimize your LinkedIn. And 4 is create an automated job application system where you're able to apply to at least 1,000, if not 2,000 jobs per month, which allows you to hit the volume you need to systematically get interviews and ultimately make sure you get an offer within a few months' time. If this has been really helpful and eye-opening and you want to explore setting up your own automated job search process without the time and effort of having to figure it out yourself, head over to go.elevatedtech.us/book. You can grab time with me and my team. There is a link down below, and we'll see you on the inside. Have a good one.